Hi everyone, welcome to Faith Friday. I'm Father Sam Kachuba. As we've gone through the Lenten season, we've reflected on what it means to repent and believe in the gospel, to turn away from sin, to turn toward the Lord, to reorient our lives entirely for Him. Every year the Church gives us this season so that we can train once again for the spiritual life, so that we can be reminded again and again every year, year after year, what it takes to be holy, what it takes to live virtuously, what it takes to turn ourselves over to the Lord. For this purpose, during the Lenten season, the Church gives us the disciplines of prayer, fasting, and almsgiving. Prayer, which helps us to turn interiorly to the Lord. Fasting, which helps us to, in a bodily sense, understand our need for God, which teaches us to discipline ourselves so that we don't cave to every single temptation that comes our way. And then the discipline of almsgiving, to give to the poor. First and foremost, that's what almsgiving is all about. It's looking to the poor, the needy among us, and giving to them to support them. It's a reminder that we each personally have a responsibility to the poor. It's not that I have to wait for this organization or this government agency to do something for the poor. No, I personally have to see in the poor and the needy the face of Christ. I am called in a personal way to give something, to alleviate their distress, their suffering. I personally have to give. Now, to give and to give generously can be challenging. How do I know what to give or to whom I should give it? And that's up to each individual person to discern how to give appropriately. But remember this, Jesus doesn't tell us the specifics. He just says to give. He tells us that we are to feed the hungry, to clothe the naked, to give shelter to those who are without shelter. We are to comfort those who mourn. We are to see in the poor, who will always be with us, he reminds us. We're to see in the poor our responsibility. It's easy to pass the buck. It's easy to think that somebody else is going to take care of it. But almsgiving reminds us, no, I personally have to be involved in this. It reminds us not to take a back seat and not to pretend like we don't have to worry. It instead reminds us that we have to give generously. Now, what happens when you give? What happens when you give to those who are suffering, to those who are needy? You realize that you have the capacity to give, that you can give and it doesn't cause you necessarily great suffering. Now, if you want to amp it up a little bit, you give more generously, more sacrificially. You give to the point that it hurts a little bit, that you have to do without something that you like, some particular creature comfort. You do without something so that someone else can have something they need. We might do without something we want. But when I give alms, I'm giving to fulfill a need. And so then what happens? I learn to trust in God. I learn to trust that this gift that I'm giving, that I'm handing over to someone else who's in need, I learn to trust that God will take care of both me and this other person. See, the practice of almsgiving takes the benefits of prayer and fasting, which benefit me on a personal level. When I pray, when I fast, I grow closer to God. The practice of almsgiving now helps me to share that benefit with someone else, because those fruits of our penance, our prayer, our fasting, our almsgiving, are meant not only for us, but for everyone. They're meant to be shared with the broader community. And so when I pray and I fast and I learn that personal self-discipline, I learn to reorient my life to the Lord. Then because I'm oriented to the Lord, because I'm facing God, He's going to send me back out. And He's going to give me new eyes to see. And He's going to send me out so that I can serve those who suffer and who are in need. And by giving to them, by helping them in their material need, I bring them to Him. I help them to reorient and reorder their lives to the Lord. So prayer, fasting, and almsgiving, these all help us to repent and believe in the gospel, to reorient our lives, and to turn completely to the God who loves us. May God bless you.